Good morning. Welcome to the live streaming worship service of the Universalist Unitarian Church of Riverside. I'm Grace Preuss, a member of this beloved church, and I will be your worship associate today. We invite you to worship with us with an open mind and an open heart. As we enter here into sacred time, created by our presence and shared interest in doing so, I invite you to all get comfortable. Turn down your phones or other distracting devices. Make a conscious decision to set aside for this 1 hour the self-protective walls you keep around your heart and your thoughts. Let us remember and explore together what has drawn us to this faith, or learn what this faith is about. And breathe. Although we are now a community connected largely by electronic means, one day we will be together again. Yet, even now, we are those seekers with the yearnings to learn, to understand, to make the world a better place, and with the same desire for fellowship. And so we breathe. Let go of the anxiety, the fears, the expectations of your own or others' making, and join us in this hour of beloved community. And so we breathe. Our opening hymn this morning is Wake Now My Senses. Please rise in spirit and join with us. And because we are doing this, nobody will know if you sing off key. So all together now.
Wake now my senses and hear the earth call. Feel the deep power of being in all. Keep with the web of creation your love, giving, receiving as love shows us how. Wake now my reason, reach out to the new. Join with each pilgrim who quests for the true. Honor the beauty and wisdom of time. Suffer thy limit and praise the sublime. Wake now, compassion, give heed to the cry. Voices of suffering fill the wide sky. Take as your neighbor both stranger and friend, praying and striving their hardship to end. Wake now my conscience, with justice thy guide. Join with the people whose rights are denied. Take not for granted a privileged place. God's love embraces the whole human race. Wake now my wisdom of ministry clear. Brighten my pathway with radiant tear. Mingle my calling with all who will share. Work towards a planet transformed by our care.
For our call to worship, please read with me one of our Unitarian Universalist covenantal poems. Love is the doctrine of this church. The quest for truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. to dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge and freedom, to live in harmony with all the living creatures and plants of the earth. This do we affirm. So the Supreme Court has made it illegal to fire someone because they are gay or transgender. Why did the court do this? How did they do it? What does it mean for the future? This talk will cover a brief history of the Supreme Court's relationship with LGBT rights and give you an introduction to what it means for something to be constitutional. This will be a light look at the sometimes incomprehensible legalese and will give you some tools to see where the highest court in the land might go from here. Harry is an attorney who represents people confined to state-run mental health hospitals. As a public defender, he has brought numerous constitutional challenges to the laws of California and how they are enforced. Before being a lawyer, Harry went to law school at the University of Illinois, where he was heavily involved in the Innocence Project. Before that, almost a lifetime ago, he graduated from UC Berkeley, double majoring in chemical and nuclear engineering. We have a few announcements we would like to share. We will mention several website and email addresses and phone numbers during announcements and other points before the sermon. At the end of the service, we will leave up a slide with all this information so you won't have to be distracted copying things down right now. For those needing the information by auditory means, however, it will be announced verbally during the service. Chat time provides an opportunity to spend an hour talking among ourselves, usually beginning with the service, then wandering on to other topics. It's held on Zoom 1/2 hour after service every Sunday. During July and August, our services begin at 9 a.m., so chat time will begin today at 10:30. But to participate, you need a separate Zoom invitation, so please go to our website at uuchurchofriverside.org for the Zoom chat time registration, or email Lee Greer at president@uuchurchofriverside.org. As members of the Inland Congregations United for Change, or ICUSEEK, UUCR is being asked to pledge to get counted in the 2020 census and to vote in November to support an equitable tax system. Text PICO ICUC to 40649 to find out how. While you are at it, you can let ICUC know what issues we here at UUCR care about. If you are watching this live, you have figured out Zoom, but you may still have questions or know someone who does. On our website, under the About tab, is a guide to using Zoom by phone, computer, and tablet. For the most current and reliable information related to this COVID-19 virus for our area, go to the website for your county public health department or the state of California. You can find information and links on our website at uuchurchofriverside.org. Dinah has started the monthly UUCR newsletter again. It will be out the first of every month. If you have something you would like covered or you want to write something for it, please let Dinah know. That's Dinah Rowe at ramblinrose22@yahoo.com, or call her or text her at area code 909-645-2885. Now we have an announcement from the newest member of our worship committee, Alec Peck.
Thank you, Grace. As Grace said, my name is Al Peck, and I'm going to be serving as your volunteer music director. I've been a practicing UU for over 20 years, and I've been a member at large and small churches spanning from New Jersey to Illinois, and now I'm here. I'm going to be helping out Adam, Bonnie, Kate, and Grace with selecting and preparing the music for the services, and I'd also like to get some members of the congregation involved in making music here, especially once we can gather in person again. Anyone who would like to contribute to the music, either singing or playing an instrument, experienced or completely new to public performance, should get in contact with me. Also get in contact with me if you have any questions or suggestions for the music for the service. I'm going to be putting my email address in the Zoom chat, and for those who are watching on YouTube, it's peckalex. Sorry, that's PECKALECW@gmail.com. And it's there in the Zoom chat. Thank you.
Now let us acknowledge that we walk upon the traditional territories of the Maaranga, the original people of this land, who continue to cry out for justice and self-determination. In honor of the Maaranga people, we, the Universalist Unitarian Church of Riverside, light this sacred flame as stewards of this sacred and holy place. We are blessed with a space and opportunity to strive to live out our common principles, to bring justice, equity, and compassion into our daily lives, to resist all that threatens the earth and her people, and to live out our dream of a world community of peace, liberty, and justice for all. Let these thoughts carry us forth as we journey and worship together. A flame within a chalice is a primary symbol of the Unitarian Universalist faith tradition. Hans Deutsch, an Austrian artist, first brought together the chalice and the flame as a Unitarian symbol during his work with the Unitarian Service Committee during World War II. To Deutsch, the image had connotations of sacrifice and love. Through the week, this chalice abides, cupped and silent. Softly it gleams in a dimly lit room, complete unto itself. Today, we come together as a community of faith, joyful and free. Our individual energies combine to spark the flame of truth. May we each draw strength for the other. And like the chalice, may we be bathed in the fire of commitment to social justice, equity, and peace. Our next hymn is Spirit of Life. Please rise once more in spirit and join in.
Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion, blowing away, rise in the sea, move in the hand, giving life the shape of justice. Roots Holy Ghost, wings set me free. Come to me, come to me.
Joys and concerns. Sharing joys and concerns is an important part of belonging to this beloved community. Each week, our caring network collects joys and concerns you wish to share. And on Sunday, we reread what has been received. Please email or text your joys and concerns to Dinah Rowe, our caring network coordinator. Her email is ramblinrose22@yahoo.com. Or you can text or call her at 909-645-2885. It is said to be a Swedish proverb that shared joy is a double joy. Shared sorrow is half sorrow. The tradition is rooted in many societies. Throughout history, after battle, the warriors got together around the campfire and talked about their joys, their losses, their wins, the valor they witnessed, the bravery, and their losses. It helped them cope, survive. Today, critical incident/debriefing techniques and many forms of therapy include a sharing of joys and concerns by whatever name. Joys, gratitude, thankfulness. Concerns, worries, mourning losses. On Sunday, we place a symbolic stone in our water chalice for the joys and concerns shared, and in recognition of those we have not. Ongoing concerns. One ongoing concern is that our church, like so many across the country, has had a significant loss of income since the governor issued the stay-at-home order on March 15th. We have made many significant cuts and reductions. Even so, our financial situation remains difficult. New concerns. Bonnie's older brother, Rod, who has major health issues and is recovering from full hip replacement surgery, tested positive for COVID-19 this past Tuesday. We place a symbolic stone in our water chalice for this concern and in recognition of all those we hold close and have not shared. Joys. As of last night, Bonnie's brother is still miraculously asymptomatic. Also, Len Hayward reports that he has started his internship in Davis and all is going well. It is said that joy shared is multiplied. We place a symbolic stone in our water chalice for the joys we have shared and all those we have not. Let us hold each other in our thoughts and prayers for the many joys and cares we all have, unspoken here today. Know that our beloved community is here for you, if from a safe distance at this time. Sharing our stewardship. Sharing our stewardship is one important way we can give of ourselves. Because of the extraordinary times we are going through, we are no longer collecting food and hygiene items at this time. However, our Social and Environmental Justice Committee is pursuing other ways for us to be involved in caring for those less fortunate around us. Sharing our treasure. This offering is how we fund all that we do to minister and care for our congregation and our beloved historic church, and to ensure that when we are able to safely reopen again, we will be here to welcome you all back again. We have several ways that we can accept your donations. You can mail your donation to the church office. Please, no cash. Our church office address is Universalist Unitarian Church of Riverside, or UUCR at 3657 Lemon Street, Riverside, California, 92501. We have a wonderful way to financially support our church at no cost to us and no extra cost to you. Do you shop at Stater Brothers? We have Stater Brothers cards for your grocery shopping that earns our church a percentage of the cost of the card. Please contact Dinah Rowe, and her email is ramblinrose22@yahoo.com. And the church office email is admin@uuchurchofriverside.org. And finally, one more way to help is when making purchases through the Amazon Smile program. Go to smile.amazon.com. Be sure to have the smile and choose Universalist Unitarian Church as your charity. We receive 0.5% of your qualifying purchase.
0.5.
And by using an Amazon script card, we receive a percentage from both. Dinah will be ordering Great Lakes script cards, which includes the Amazon gift cards, within the next 2 weeks. Let Dinah know if you would like to. Our next hymn is From You I Receive.
From you I receive, to you I give, together we share, and from this we live. From you I receive, to you I give, together we share, and from this we live. From you I receive, to you I give, together we share, and from this we live.
Meditation. Our prayer this morning is the Shanti Diva prayer, adapted by Reverend Karen G. Johnston. May I be a guard for those who need protection. When I seek protection, may I find it and share it. For those who wish to cross to a further shore, may I be a boat, a raft, a bridge. May I be open to the companionship of others as I make my way to places still before me. May I be a lamp in the darkness for all who seek it. May that light be never extinguished from my own sight and my own heart. May I be a resting place for the weary and be healing medicine for all who are sick. May I know the salve of others for my own afflictions, whether of the mind or the body or of the heart. Where others see scarcity, may I see a vase of plenty, a tree of miracles. As part of the boundless multitudes of living beings, may I bring sustenance and awakening, freedom from sorrow, and may I delight in our common existence. Holding most tenderly those with broken hearts, let us sit together in stillness. And now I would like to welcome Harry D. Gobrecht, who will share with us now.
Hi, everybody. My name's Harry Gobrecht. I was asked to come here and talk to you guys about constitutional law and what's happened with the LGBT communities and constitutional law in the last little bit. I'm a little new to screen share on Zoom, so Adam, yell at me if this isn't working. I'm a lawyer with the Public Defender's Office of San Bernardino. As such, anytime I talk, I live off of a PowerPoint. So that's what I'm going to do. Let's see, if we share that, we go there. Thumbs up, everybody see that? All right, so there's this thing that happened called slavery, and slavery wasn't great. And so what happened after that is there was a war, and half the country needed to be put back in. They were forced to rejoin the Union. And so we had this thing called Reconstruction. And as part of Reconstruction, we realized the Constitution is a mess. We had the 13th Amendment that said no slavery, you know, unless, of course, you're part of the prison industrial complex, my public defender is showing. You had the 15th Amendment that said citizens can vote regardless of race, color, or previous condition of servitude. And you had what we're going to be talking about today, or at least a small portion of it, the 14th Amendment, which says that nor shall any state deny any person its jurisdiction the equal protection of the laws. Huh? It's really dense. It's only a part of it. And there's been more trees killed writing about this than many other issues in law. But basically what it says is that it mandates that individuals in similar circumstances be treated equally by the law. So we won, right? I mean, remember when gay marriage became legal in 1867? No, of course not. You know, because just everything, just that didn't happen. Why didn't that happen? And just before I go further on, this isn't a law school lecture. This is a cohesive through point about equal protection in the law. I'm cutting a lot of corners on this. This is just my apology to anyone with any legal training. This is true and accurate as well as I can do it, but I don't want to get into the weeds, so I'm gonna shave a lot of details on this. Basically, equal protection has two levels of scrutiny. You have rational basis, which means, can you come up with any reason for this discrimination? Now, you say discrimination, and you know, what are you talking about? And so sometimes you just discriminate, you know? Someone who's 14 wants to drive, and someone who's 16 wants to drive. There's a law that discriminates between 14-year-olds and 16-year-olds. And that doesn't violate the Constitution, that doesn't violate equal protection, because 14 and 16-year-olds are just subject to rational basis. Similarly, an employer who runs a nuclear plant versus one who runs a craft store. You know, the employer who runs a nuclear plant might complain that the person who runs the craft store doesn't have to wear a hazmat suit. It's a discrimination. It's fine. You know, it's just subject to rational basis. But as a consequence of the 14th Amendment, we had strict scrutiny for certain issues. When you want to discriminate based on race, national origin, citizenship status, or some other fundamental rights, such as religion. Now, for those of you following along at home, I'm going to highlight in red the spoilers and my through points on this, because it's going to be a lot of law and cases and stuff like that, but these words and these concepts that loop all the way from 1867 to today become important, and they become important in a really surprising way. So strict scrutiny means you have to show that if something's subject to strict scrutiny, meaning does it discriminate based on race, national origin, citizenship status, or what we're going to be talking about, some other fundamental right. You have to show that the law serves a compelling interest and that there's no less intrusive way to satisfy the interest. Right? So you can't pass a law that says white people can work here, but black people can't. You can't pass a law that says Catholics can live here, but Muslims can't. So why am I talking about this, right? What's the point of this? In 99.9% of the cases, if a law is subject to strict scrutiny, it's stricken down. Freedom controls over regulation. If a law is subject to rational basis, It means the law stays. It means the law is constitutional and the law triumphs over freedom. What's always the point? Sex, and gender sexual preference, and gender identity. And so what we're going to be talking about is how these issues have moved from rational basis almost to strict scrutiny, and why it's happened, and how you can help do that and push that. So we start with a case from 1986, Bowers v. Hardwick. It says it's okay to put people in prison for sodomy, up to 20 years. And it says homosexual sodomy is only subject to rational basis. Why? The court will only protect rights when they're deeply rooted in the nation's history and tradition, or they're implicit in the ordered concept of liberty. 1 year after I was born, in 1986, they said homosexuality is not deeply rooted in the nation's history and tradition. Less than 20 years later, they overturned that. Now, the arc of justice is long, or the arc of history is long, but it tends towards justice, right? 20 years is a long time to go through the courts, but it's a way to do it without doing it the other way, threatening the concept of ordered liberty. So Lawrence v. Texas, it's an amazing case. The backstory on this is incredible. Basically, Lawrence and his boyfriend, maybe kind of, sort of, maybe they were caught having sex. Maybe his ex-boyfriend was just downstairs upset that he was hanging out with another guy, calls the cops, says there's a gun in this house. The cops come in, and they come into a gay man's apartment where they're just hanging out in their underwear. They get charged with sodomy. Some law clerk, just a law clerk, calls the big legal organization at the time, Lambda Legal. And Lambda loops in to fight this case. And it held that sodomy laws were unconstitutional. Now, I know, 2003 is really in our lifetimes for sodomy now only to be unconstitutional. But it's happening, it's moving. And the reason it's moving is it's become deeply rooted in the history and tradition of the United States that people have the full right to engage in private conduct without government intervention. The Texas statute furthers no state interest which can justify the intrusion on individuals' personal and private life. Now, this isn't, what we're talking about with rational basis. This isn't, is there any reason for the law? But it's not exactly strict scrutiny either. They've created this liminal, this intermediate step to make sodomy unconstitutional, make anti-sodomy laws unconstitutional because it should be. And so they coined this term rational basis with bite. And the term just grows. You have United States v. Windsor, which overturned the Defense of Marriage Act. In 2013, there was a law in the books, a federal law, that said that marriage is the legal union between one man and one woman as husband and wife. And in 2013, 7 short years ago, they overturned it. They said that the federal statute is invalid for no legitimate purpose, overcomes the purpose and effects to disparage and injure those whom the state, by its marriage laws, sought to protect in personhood and dignity. Now, this is even more than, just rational basis. Is there any reason, is this, why are we going to discriminate against someone who drives 60 miles an hour versus 80 miles an hour? This is more. This is more than just rational basis with bites. Now we're talking about a concept of dignity, which doesn't quite appear in the Constitution, but dignity is deeply rooted in the history and tradition of America. And by pushing and by making LGBT rights and normalizing homosexuality, gay marriage was made the law of the land in the 14 or so remaining states and 2 remaining territories where it was illegal. It goes even further than that. I'm sorry, Defense of Marriage. Gay marriage, there was an opening for gay marriage. Gay marriage then becomes legal in the 13 and 14 remaining states and 2 remaining territories under Oberfell v. Hodges. Both these opinions were written by Kennedy. This was a conservative appointed judge, a Catholic, someone whose faith guided him to say that no, gay marriage shouldn't be a thing. But as all this was normalized, there was no choice for the court. They had to link that dignity protects this. And this leads to the big case this year where Neil Gorsuch, you know, I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm just being a nerdy lawyer, but Neil Gorsuch, Trump appointee Neil Gorsuch, wrote that laws that discriminate a man who loves a man violate equal protection because they don't discriminate against women who love men. That's insane. It's insane that a Trump appointee, would write this opinion, this 6-3 opinion. Other people sided with it, saying equal protection just applies. You can't discriminate against that. And to top it off, he said that this was true regardless of birth sex. He just loops that in. I mean, maybe I just have to say it again. Neil Gorsuch said it violates equal protection to discriminate against gay people regardless of birth sex. Why? Why did he do this? The court says they'll protect rights when they're deeply rooted in the nation's history and traditions, or they're implicit in the concept of ordered liberty. So what's the point? The point is to have LGBT history be American history, because it is. And I've sped-rolled, so I'm going to tell a story. Anyone know who Friedrich Wilhelm von Steuben is? He was the Inspector General of the Continental Army. Revolutionary War. He wrote the Blue Book, a book that regulated military rank based on skill rather than class and station. Class and station were the way in which someone became an officer or an NCO, a non-commissioned officer in the British Army. And when we decided to fight the British, Baron von Steuben came in and taught us that's not right, and that's not the best way to fight. He was George Washington's chief of staff. You know, he did the thing that Hamilton did after Hamilton did it. It kills me that he's not in the musical. Of note, for people who are fans of Ferris Bueller, von Steuben is celebrated throughout this country. The parade that Ferris Bueller crashes is a von Steuben's Day parade. Oh yeah, and he was kicked out of Prussia for being gay, and he came to America to help us win the war by discouraging British trappings of monarchy. We welcomed people in. We are the melting pot. This is the beauty of America. This is what we have to own, that gay tradition is American tradition. Pride is an American tradition. Pride is a celebration of the Stonewall riots. And yeah, it has global meaning and importance now. But this is something as deeply rooted as America as jazz. It's important to own this. It's very easy to critique, you know, the current administration or the current leadership, or, you know, the half of the country south of the Mason-Dixon line. But it's important to own that these traditions are American traditions, because they are. And if we see that, if we say, oh, this isn't fair, oh, this isn't right, oh, I want to move to Canada, we give up something where Neil Gorsuch said, trans rights are just equal protection and are subject to it. Now, there were some dissents in this opinion, and Neil Gorsuch addresses that. He says that sex-segregated bathrooms, locker rooms, and dress codes will prove unsustainable after a decision today. So you read that, and you know the next sentence is he's going to be like, oh, but we're going to keep all that. But no, he cracks the door. Neil Gorsuch cracks the door and says, that's not before the court. None of these other laws are before us. We've not had the benefit of adversarial testing about the meaning of their terms, and we do not prejudice any of that questioning today. Neil Gorsuch is open to hearing all these issues. So what's important is to know this is tradition, own it, normalize it, keep it American, make it as American as apple pie, because it is. Teach the history of gay America, teach the history of trans America. Keep it normal, put it out, and call prejudice and hate what they are, un-American. I may have sped roll through my time. I just talked fast. Thank you guys so much for listening to me for a little bit. Here's the Creative Commons credits for my clip art because I can't help myself. And thank you guys so much.
So our closing hymn is What Wondrous Love. Please rise in spirit and join us.
What wondrous love is this, oh my soul, oh my soul? What wondrous love is this, oh my soul? What wondrous love is this that brings my heart such bliss and takes away the pain of my soul? Of my soul, and takes away the pain of my soul. When I was sinking down, sinking down, sinking down, when I was sinking down, sinking down, when I was sinking down beneath my sorrow's ground, friends to me gathered round, oh my soul, oh my soul, friends to me gathered round, oh my soul. To love and to all friends I will sing, I will sing. To love and to all friends I will sing. To love and to all friends who pain and sorrow mend. With thanks unto the end I will sing. I will sing with thanks unto the end. I will sing.
Benediction. For our benediction, please close your eyes and reach out to each other in your thoughts. Feel the connection between us, the interconnected web joining us as a community, a church family. Our benediction is We Shall Overcome by Reverend Jonalu Johnstone. We shall overcome. When we can truly celebrate the diversity of contributions and talents offered by all people, we shall overcome hatred and prejudice and oppression. When we can truly extend our hands to one another in loving acceptance, we shall overcome the past that haunts us now. Living in peace and freedom, we shall overcome the wrongs that have happened and the debts left unpaid. Let us join together in that commitment to overcome. Let us say together, Amen. Amen, Shalom, and blessed be.